Hello everyone, I am Grandmaster Vasif Durarbayli, resident GM at St. Louis Chess Club. I am here to show you how professionals prepare, at least as far as I know. And professionals do not use leeches for preparation in their games. Professionals use ChessBase. Although ChessBase has so many bugs, but it is the main platform, I do not know any grandmaster who is using, but all right, let's jump in. So today I'm gonna show you a hypothetical opponent. I mean, actually he is not hypothetical. I have played against him once and he is the highest player I have ever beaten. So Wesley from United States, originally from Philippines. So I'm gonna show you that game. Not that game, sorry. I'm gonna show you how, if I play, let's say, against Wesley tomorrow, how am I gonna prepare and what we are doing for preparation. So let's jump in and I will show you on ChessBase program what professionals will be doing like me. So it is not my computer. That's why, as you can see, it says Mega Database 2021. And in general, it would be in my computer Mega Database 2025, and it will be updated. Sorry for the old games, but it doesn't matter. The most important thing is the concept that I'm gonna teach you. So let's say you have a database, and for sure that you need to update it weekly, or I think on ChessBase also offers paid version to update the games. Most professionals use Tweak. Mark, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but Mark has been doing it free for everyone, that you can download the database directly from the website called The Week in Chess. So if you don't know it, basically you go to this website and there is a Tweak archives. You go to Tweak, and apparently the first issue was 1994. Since then, Mark has been uploading, and basically you can download each game, each database weekly, and as you can see that it shows how many games there, 6,600 something games for the last week. And also you can get all if you pay some extra or something like that. But anyways, basically you have access to the weekly games. I strongly recommend downloading and maybe checking some games weekly if possible. Unfortunately, you know, it used to be like only classical games in Tweak and in all the database. Nowadays there are so many blitz games, which a little bit annoys because the quality of the games have dropped significantly. But anyways, it depends on you. Maybe you are preparing for your blitz tournament, so for sure go ahead and look at those games. All right, so let's imagine that I have a up-to-date database. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna enter to this database. I already wrote So and found his name, So Wesley. As you can see that he has 2,300 games, and let's assume that I play against him with black. So what I'm gonna do is, like, I'm gonna open prepare against white. Every people does it a little bit differently, but this is what I do. So I click this, and as you can see that here open Wesley's games with white, and as I said, like, it is not the up-to-date database, but it's fine. So I will just a little bit arrange, and also I will add here show the tournament, because as you can see that there is a tournament that it's like I mean, you can't call it trash, because online usually these top players do not show their lines, but still maybe it makes sense from the time to check it out what they can play. And after that, I will also do additional one step that I think it is useful and most people do, is to have an engine running just in case. So engine running, for that I am not gonna use my computer engine or the computer of the, let's say, laptop of the St. Louis Chess Club, because it is not as strong as the cloud engine. If you haven't heard, yeah, most professionals use cloud engine. There is a different services to get a cloud engine, but I use my own engine. I have a little bit stronger computer to set up at home. I'm gonna access to that one and use it. But if you don't have your own computer and you are using ChessBase, you can go to add this, and there is a, you see that cloud. You click the cloud, you open the cloud database, and you can see the engines here running like crazy strong engines. I don't know if you guys are understanding these things, but this is how strong these engines are, and professionals will be like, look at this. Like, for instance, this engine is like, it is they are using a currency called ducats on ChessBase, but basically it is like, I think you pay 10 euros for 100 ducats. Anyways, so basically if you use 1 minute, you are gonna pay this much. But anyways, I'm not gonna use them. I'm gonna use my free one. It is my engine. So I'm gonna put it here. So whenever I open a game, the engine will be opening here on the bottom. It will make my life faster. You know, when I play, I prepare for the game. It is usually early, either in the morning or maybe a late night or something. I don't have much time to go each game and take my time to think a little bit. So I am not gonna do that. And okay, let's do this, and let's go. Now I need to prepare against Wesley. So for that, what I am gonna do first, I'm gonna down. Oh boy, I understand what's happening here. It's like during pandemic year. As you can see that we were not playing over the board games, and there is only this online tournaments that I don't think that is very useful to check. But okay, you see that Wesley played some games here in Tata still, and the great thing is that sometimes, even greater thing is that it is analyzed by So Wesley. So this game's analyzed by him. So by reading his commentary, I may be getting some knowledge that I couldn't be getting from other sources. So he played a game against Anand. What he says, the game was played round 2. I drew my first game, blah blah blah. A true living legend, praising Anand for no reason. Okay, all right. The beginning, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, both of them are could be considered a legend. So e4, he starts. I'm gonna look from black's perspective. So let's flip the board. E4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4. Oh, actually, this is interesting because I might play against Wesley e5. I'm an e5 player as well. So they go for Italian. The main line, he goes knight d2, castle, h3. h3, all right. Sometimes I might take a little bit time to understand like why, like usually I think very often people go here castle, although I mean h3 should be a fine move as well. h3, h6, bishop b3. Okay. Bishop b3, interesting move. I mean, not interesting, like the idea is that here to go, but nowadays a4 has gained significant popularity, and I think in top level people play. So let's go bishop b3, bishop e6, bishop c2, d5, and knight to g5, d, knight d6, fe, d, open c file. Oh, sacrifice knight g4. I feel like this is some kind of a deep opening preparation from that time. I wonder if there is any games already played like that before them. Let's see. There is actually on ChessBase another cool feature called online database. Basically, you click here online, and it finds. I also like to keep this date. Without moving, not like that. I like, but anyways. So yeah, there were some games. Knight g5, as you can see, was play D was a novelty maybe at that time. At that time, it could have been a novelty. But anyways, so D, you go for this queen knight c3, rook b1. Oh, this was a very interesting game. I don't recall actually some kind of crazy stuff. I mean, I think I could go on. I'm really enjoying to watch this game, and maybe I will spend a little bit time to understand, but overall it doesn't matter so much. When I prepare for the game, I mostly care about the opening part, and a little bit I check the middle game, but it was a very interesting game. Why don't we go over the whole game? The things that I am showing how I prepare before the game. Before the game, I have limited time. I cannot enjoy the process so much. I need to make sure that I cover all the ground against Wesley, and Wesley plays so many different openings. And that's why I will not be spending so much time on looking at the whole game. But I mean, it was very fascinating game because here the sacrifice was very interesting. I don't know if it might not have been Anand's preparation, and maybe he came up in the game that, oh, there is a nice sacrifice. I mean, it is a really enjoyable game. Maybe one day, next time, prepare like a pro. Maybe I will analyze for you all how would I assess the player's strengths and weaknesses, which is another important topic, but I don't feel like it is usually viable to do before the game. That's why I will just check very quickly what happened in the opening. So e4 he played in that game. Let's see what happened against Firuza. Okay, he played d4. d4 line. It is not a good sign. I mean, I wouldn't say it's not a good sign, but when your opponent plays more than one move, at the beginning, it may double your work. So now let's see what happens. Okay, Wesley, again, this time praises the Alireza and plays d4. So he says, oh, okay, this might be interesting. Against first e4, Alireza plays many different Sicilians. In particular, he also plays the Najdorf. Now in the Najdorf, it is almost impossible to gain an advantage against it these days, and the positions possibly suit his style very well. Against first c4, he plays e5, so we could get a reverse Sicilian. I decided to keep it simple and play d4. So here we might a little bit get a hint the way how Wesley approached the game. I mean, I don't know how serious we should take the commentary of the player, but it is definitely something, and sometimes they may not be so careful and give some ideas about how they prepare. It seems like So try to avoid the aggressive lines which comes with Sicilian. So hypothetically, let's imagine that I am playing against Wesley, and actually now we did play a few games. So every time he did not, I think we played 3-4 games. Actually, one of them was recently in Blitz American Cup, one Blitz in, was it maybe Rapid? No, Rapid in World Rapid, and some other games, and he did not play against me e4. Maybe he feels like I also play Sicilian a lot. Perhaps it was his thinking that, oh, maybe Vasif is an aggressive player, maybe I shouldn't play against him e4, which will make things more complicated. I don't know. But against Firuza, he didn't choose. He played d4, d5, c4, and he takes dc. And I'm going to cut it here. I'm not going to look at this game further because I do not take dc. In this position, I either play c6 or e6. So no need to go deeper here, in my opinion. So let's see against Duda what he did. Okay, against Duda also he played d4. And I believe Duda could play Sicilian as well. So this game they get into Catalan. Well, Catalan typical slow games and eventually ended at a draw. I go quickly and then let's see what he did against Kiri in Tata still. And if you just came in, I am assuming as if like the database is not updated here, so I am assuming as if I am playing against him in 2020. So it's how I prepare. So, oh, they played exchange swap. This might be interesting because I played this system and I can face it. Okay, they went for drawish position and there is nothing. Draw. Jeffrey Chong. Oh, Jeffrey Chong. Wesley tried to force a draw? Odd. But maybe he was leading the tournament or something like that. He didn't. He tried to. I mean, he basically made a draw. He could have kept playing. And also interesting that he did play e4 against Jeffrey. I wonder why. Why he chose this time e4. And last but not least, I think his game against Magnus Carlsen. He played. He played for draw in this game. The line he chose is that this is the 4 knight. People play basically to make a draw. I think he was winning this tournament if I remember it correctly. I think he just wanted to make a draw, so they traded everything and it ended up in a draw. So first thing is done. Now I checked my opponent's last tournament and from here I got some ideas, but it is not enough. I will then go for e4 move. Let's also flip the board. Let's see what he does against. I am gonna check 2 lines, maybe 3 lines. I can play e5 first move. I can play c5 or e6. I mean, technically I could play anything, but these 3 probably the lines that I know the best. I'm gonna start with e5. e5, knight f3, knight c6. I'm not gonna, for instance, look at the line knight f6 because I almost never play Petrov. It's maybe I should learn, but okay, this is a different topic. So knight c6. Here Wesley mostly chose bishop b5, and I am looking at the statistics here and see what's happening. He plays bishop b5. He played knight c3. Okay, he's not gonna play knight c3 against me and try to make a draw, so I can eliminate that. He played bishop b5. Yeah, seems like he has both moves. So I should, if I want to play e5, I should take it seriously and prepare bishop b5 or bishop c4. Let's go bishop b5. I now remember that I played against him. Did I play knight d7 in some rapid game at some point? Yeah, I think I made once a draw against him in a rapid game with knight d7, but it's not in the database. Okay, but doesn't matter. I usually play h6 here. This is called a Marshall. I will try to take my opponent into Marshall, which is b5, bishop b3, not d6, castle. Yeah, I have had quite good results in this position, and I have played many games, and it seems like he was trying c3 for many tournaments, as you can see, but after candidates, Dingleren, maybe he did not come back. Let's see what happened in that game. They went for Marshall. This is a pawn sacrifice and leads to interesting position. Bishop f5, queen f3. This is one of the main lines. I think they were debating this position for too long. I think I don't play here this line. I think I am playing here, if I am not mistaken, queen to Is it queen h4? Yeah, queen h4. I think I played already queen h3. So this is the line. So I'm not gonna go deep into bishop f5, what's happening. But the reputation of Marshall nowadays stands like, if black knows, it's most likely gonna be a draw. So I should check my files just in case. But you know, I'm gonna check a4 deeper, because in his last candidate's match against Aronian, he played a4, and Aronian did not choose the line that I like to play, which is bishop b7. So I don't know if I should go and study this game. No need. Yeah, no one played bishop b7 against him. So in this case, okay, I'm gonna go back. There is not much. Maybe I should check d3. Did he play? Oh, he played in a US St. Louis. So every time when I see something that might be interesting that my opponent can play, I'm gonna take a note or mental note to make sure that I will have time, maybe check the file, or maybe analyze deeper. That's what I will do. So maybe d3 also should be considered. So yeah, this is taken. So now let's check the bishop c4. So bishop c4, knight f6. Oh, he played knight g5. Okay, it was a speed blitz. I'm not gonna take seriously. And he had a game in 2013, so maybe not the most important. But one thing all of you need to keep in mind, when I skip a preparation for some variation, it doesn't mean that I do not know how to react. I already have some idea, and probably I analyzed quite deep in each line that I don't check. But the idea is this: I am trying to, it's like a mind game a little bit. I'm trying to predict what Wesley can and will do. I don't have time to prepare every possible continuation Wesley could play, and you need to understand that he is one of the best players in the world, and I need to somehow find the things that I am uncomfortable with and fixate on that rather than preparing against everything. So for instance, I wouldn't spend time to check this file, even though he may play, but I'm gonna check d3, which he played against Anand. Not d3, but Italian, which could be transposed after bishop c5, c3, d6, and yeah, here's Anand's game. And after that, he can play here castle, knight d2. Let's see, after knight d2, castle, h3. So here I have a choice. I can play a6, I can play a5. Let's see what happens. a6, what he did, bishop b3. Maybe I'm gonna check this line, because he played, let's say, in his last game, so he can play against me. That's why I'm gonna check what I would do after bishop b3. Engine suggests, you guys see it here, bishop e6, like Anand played. Okay, bishop e6, bishop c2, and d5. Wow, this is like actually an engine's top line. Maybe they did have a preparation. But you know what? I'm not gonna deal with Wesley's prep there. And I'm very comfortable with this move, h6. I'm gonna just stop knight g5 and next move to play d5. So here I would be maybe making some analysis. So here says g4, and probably one of the issues when you play h6 is when it comes to g4. So let's say knight h7, rook g1. He wants to play h4, g5 or something. This is interesting. Is there a real counterplay? I mean, not counterplay, attack. engine shows 0, 0. That's one of the biggest problems of modern chess. Like, it shows 0, 0, but it doesn't explain that which side is better to play with. And my experience says that it is easier to play the side that is attacking and the side that has somewhat clear path to play. And this could be one of those things, you know. Well. I like to attack. I forgot to add that. If you guys don't know me, I love attack. I love the dynamic play. I'm not a big fan of defending, which might be the case in this position. And I am also looking at the engine line. It says some b5, d5, but there is g5, h5, some crazy line. As usual, shows 0, 0. Let's play a little bit. Let's play queen d7. Keep eye on pawn, so he cannot play h4. It's gonna hang. And can he sacrifice like that? g5? Oh, but we are not gonna take. We are gonna play h5, and there is no attack. Seems like okay. That's good news. So he cannot play h4. Let's see if he brings a knight f1. Then we hit the center with d5. This is also very typical. When your opponents attack you on the side, you hit the center. Knight g3. Okay, let's bring the rook. Queen e2. So these are fairly logical moves for me, and you know any strong player can play. And here it says f6 or king h8. Let's play king h8 to get out of this g file, and then it takes bishop b3. I don't know. I didn't like this position. We gave up this f5 square that knight can come, and still all the engine keeps showing zeros. I'm not satisfied. So I'm gonna go back and try to find a way, maybe change something here. Can I play, for instance, rook to e8 in this position? Because now g4 is not as powerful because we didn't give him a hook. Pawn is not on h6, and we can play bishop e6, bishop c2, and I assume that some knight maneuver. Yeah, knight e7, knight goes to g6 or something. Life is good. So rook e8, and if he goes castle, okay, all right. I have seen this position. It's fine. You play h6, you move the bishop to a7, and bishop comes to e6. Playable position, and I don't need to go deep. So maybe I will open my file in this variation and try to make some notes. If you don't have a file, I strongly recommend that whenever you play against someone, prepare against someone, create a little file, write that what you are gonna play against that person, and save it somewhere, so every time you don't need to reinvent the wheel. And I think when I was young, I made this mistake. Like, first time I think I started saving my analysis was when I was 17 years old or something like that, maybe 16 years old. I do not remember. I was already quite a strong player. I think I was at least international master, and I would analyze before the game, don't save and go. Even maybe later I did. So it's a little bit irresponsible, not a little bit, significantly irresponsible act. Maybe if I did differently, would have been okay. I'm going completely different direction. But yeah, basically I do recommend you to save your analysis whenever you do. Earlier you start, you will become significantly better, and it will make your life much easier, because you will not remember what you analyzed, let's say, 5 months ago. All right, but at this moment I am not gonna save it because it's not my computer and I didn't really go deep, but I might because I have already file. If I didn't have a file, I might have gone deep in this position and try to figure out how to do it. All right, so let's check also castle that he played. Castle, no, h6. Castle, rook e1, and let's try to get something similar. A6, a4, bishop a7, h3. Can we transpose similar position? H6, knight d2, rook e8, b4. So yeah, this was actually a very trendy position. Even in 2025, I would say that people have been playing this, and yeah, bishop e6, rook e6, queen c2. And what was the equality? Which one line? I think queen d7 is a good move. Knight f1, d5, bishop b3, knight d3, knight d7, rook d8. This position is very equalish, but I think it has some venom in it. I'm trying to remember what was the line that makes equality here right away. I will search online. So also this one I am gonna use a lot when I prepare. This is an online database that has up-to-date games and sometimes new games. You can always check it very quick. Let's see, there was a game, I think some Aronian game, that Aronian made equality somewhere. I think this was the game, Giri Aronian. Let's see, this is the way. Maybe it goes equality, almost equal. I mean, not almost. I think it is a drawish. CD, knight d4, bishop d4, takes, queen c7, queen d7, queen b7. I think this was like a debate that maybe white can put a pressure, but the problem is that it's too much simplification, and this position, I think it's just a draw. Maybe a little bit accuracy needed. By the way, this game happened in this club that I am right now. I think I might play this line against Wesley if he goes to this. All right, it seems like I covered Italian. I have an idea in Rui Lopez, but let's see what he plays against. What he does in d4. Let's say d4. I am gonna check the line that I often play, which is Slav, semi-Slav. He can do ball. I think recent game was CD, so I gotta take this seriously. The CD line. Oh, did he beat Magnus Carlsen? Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, I think it seems like Wesley's idea against Magnus Carlsen is to go to equal position and drawish position and make Carlsen to make some kind of mistakes and beat him. Okay, he beat. Actually, Wesley is I think one of his strengths is he loves positional chess. He loves to play slow game, and that could be an issue with him. Maybe it shouldn't be maybe I should avoid to go against him positions that are boring, because it seems like he enjoys it and I do not. Perhaps I shouldn't give him an option to take CD and go for exchange Slav. Perhaps I will start e6. I do that from time to time. This is mainly to avoid exchange. And yeah, knight f3, knight f6. He plays g3. etc. So in this line, maybe I will play. Okay, this is actually a little bit challenging. I feel like maybe d4. Now I don't want to play Semislav. Then maybe I should check the Queen's Indian or Nimzo variation. Let's see what he does there. Does he play Nimzo? Or he plays knight f3 or knight c3. I think knight c3 has been quite popular. Bishop b4, queen c2. I think I played d5 here, cd. All right, I mean, yeah, probably I'm gonna check this line, and if I have a preparation, I will see what I play against that. So this is 1, e3. Okay, e3, castle, bishop d3, c5, f3, d5. Okay. CD he does, knight d5 and castle. Wow. Okay, it was a rapid game online. Yeah, but it doesn't look like knight c3 his main line. Did he play in a classical chess? He played in 2019 against Kramnik, I was going to say, Karyakin, and he played this f3 line, which is sharp. I don't think that he's gonna play, and yeah, queen c2 most likely, and I will check the queen c2. And last but not least, you need to also check the c4 and knight f3 line. Okay, c4. I'm planning to play c5, knight f3. Maybe I will go knight f6, knight c3. Oh, okay. Here you can see the game that I played against Wesley So in 2015. Which I won. Probably the best will be maybe I give you a commentary for the game, what happened. Already I talked about the opening preparation. So let me sum up and maybe to check that if you guys asked any questions that maybe I should answer them. But so basically you do this process. You open the game, you check the games and check slowly, make sure that you cover your weaknesses. Do not try to prepare against all the moves that your opponent make. Make some assumptions. Okay, sometimes your assumptions are gonna be wrong and you will maybe get disadvantage in the opening. But if you try to always find the right path against every possible opening, you are gonna struggle. And most important, another important factor is that you need to take into account what's your opponent's style. So you should try to maybe avoid. Let's say if your opponent is a much better tactician, dynamic player than you, maybe you should not go there. All right, do we have any questions about preparation?
Oh, when you reload that, all that thing disappears.
Yes.
So there was quite a bad one. They will need to re-ask.
Sorry guys. All right. Yeah, it seems like I missed some questions. Sorry about that. Some technical issues, but I think we covered, and this video is gonna be on YouTube. You can later watch and maybe get some of it. We have a question in here.
In the preparation, we are trying to make sure that we don't go in disadvantage out of the open. That's all we are trying to do, to stay in the game and go past the opening and then fight our opponent middle game at the end game.
So the question is that are we trying to avoid the disadvantage out of the opening? Yeah, obviously we don't want to give advantage our opponent, but I mean, okay, nowadays it's like you cannot, in high level, you cannot get advantage. So our main goal is this. We want to take our opponent into a position that we know slightly tiny bit better than our opponent. If we can accomplish that, that will be a big success. So that's the main point. We try to understand that what our opponents play, and we prepare something that he might not anticipate. That's the modern chess preparation, how it goes. All right, let me show you actually my game against Wesley. That was a very interesting game from Las Vegas Millionaire Tournament 2015. And today, when I was like, I was thinking about, you know, prepare against the opponent. How do we prepare? I was like, who should I prepare against? I wanted to choose someone that I have played before, and I was like checking the top list, like who's in the list that I played, and obviously who I beat. And I saw that Wesley is there. So actually this game was very interesting one. So we didn't, in this one, this was in American tournament. Basically you don't have a luxury of preparing long time. So it's like between games you have a, if you are lucky enough, you get a lunchtime, you know, and you go for the next game. So I didn't have any time to prepare for Wesley So. And I come and he plays this line. He invites me to play Hedgehog, which is my favorite opening. Maybe I'm the one of the best in the world when it comes to this setup. I have played all my career, and it served me well. I've been quite strong players in this setup. So he plays rook e1. I play no d6. He plays rook e1, and I go knight d7, e4, rook c8, b3, you know, a6, d4, cd, and I played g6. I think that's a terrible move. I think, yeah, that's terrible. Do you guys see the evaluation bar here? Evaluation here, yeah, that's a terrible move. I don't know actually what happened at that time, why I didn't play the line that I usually would. I think queen c7, there was this crazy idea that newly people found, that you go knight d5 and ed, king d8, and I think knight c6. At that time, I think knight c6 was the best move. Today, the engines are so strong. I think around here, what happened is that I later on improved. I think I started playing bishop e7, e4, a6, d4, cd, knight d4, and queen c7 with this move order. So here b3, you can play castle. I think that's a fine setup. But at that time I made I don't know what happened, why I made this terrible, horrendous move, and Wesley did not miss it. Wesley played the strongest move, e5, bishop g2, e takes f6. And at this point, the life was bad. I mean, this was lost position, but I did not lose my hope. One of the things that you need to do when you have a lost position is to fight till the end. Do not avoid with all costs to lose immediately. That's the first task you need to do when you get a lost position. I move the bishop to a8. He brings bishop to g5. Now is a threat to take on e6 and do discovery attack. I go knight to e5. Wesley takes on e6, f takes e6, and boom, another strong move, rook to e5. He didn't want to do discovery attack, I believe, because king f7, bishop d8, and there is some knight f3 check, king g2, knight d1, even though this position is already also lost. But so the thing is that he had the luxury of choosing. He chose the best one. Rook takes e5 here. I go queen d7, rook e3, king to f7. The good thing is that there is no easy way to finish off the game. Maybe around here after queen d7, I mean, engine shows +2, but this is like guys, this is like a modern chess. Engine gives a crazy evaluations like +2. When you see +2, you might think, oh, you know, in the past that it was a game over. Nowadays, it is not easy. conversion is, you know, humans are not precise, so that's why very often they mess up the even +2s. So rook e3, I go king f7. I try to, you know, use this pawn as umbrella. Umbrella is the term to use for the opponent pawn, you know, using as a shelter. So king f7, he goes queen g4, targeting e6. I go h6, and Wesley doesn't go back. He all goes forward. Another strong move, knight d5. So far, he was playing extremely well. So I go rook e8. He goes bishop h4, defending. I go h5, queen h3, bishop h6, f4. So I remember that around this position, I realized that my only hope is to complicate the position. Otherwise, this rook is gonna come and I will get crashed. What can I do? I realized that I need to hit the pawn b5 on c4. He goes rook ae1 and I play queen to a7. Pin the knight, pin the rook. He goes king f1. I play e5. So again, as you can see that even though he got a +2 advantage, and it is already how many moves? Like at least we played 8 moves and the evaluation didn't go up. That's one thing. If you can accomplish when you have a lost position to keep the evaluation the same level, it will affect your opponent, and sooner or later he's gonna make some imprecise moves. So he goes rook e4. I take. I take on d5, cd. I play queen b7. He offers me a trade. I trade, and I am playing king to f8. Oh wow, that's a very strong move. King f8 with the idea that I assume to bring the rook from the 7th file, and finally Wesley makes, I think this, I mean not here. So he starts making average moves. So one of the things that when you have a winning position and you keep playing average moves, you slightly getting your life more challenging. With every move, even though you don't give up the advantage immediately, you are getting into position in the future that you will have only one way to win, and maybe you are not going to find. That's why it is very often when you have advantage to finish it off as soon as possible. I don't take d5, I play rook h7. He goes rook c4. Queen goes to b5. He goes queen e2. I take the pawn. Now at least I have a pawn, equal pawns. This is something, some accomplishment. King goes to g1. I bring rook to the game, rook d7. He goes rook d1. I pin the rook. He goes queen c2. Queen b6 check, king g2. We repeat once, and he goes queen to f2. And actually, this is already, as you can see, that he didn't want to play king f1. Psychologically, it's not easy move because after queen b7, he needed to find rook c6, which is not that easy. He offers trade, and if I trade, at least he gets a position without risk. But I don't want to trade. I keep the queens on the board. Queen b5. He goes rook c1. And now I go for a counterattack. e4. Now it's time for me to push the pawn if possible. I open the 5th rank. I attack the g5. And actually, as you can see, the evaluation is already just +1. And very often they say that +1 is not a winning advantage. So Wesley doesn't have a winning advantage anymore after my very strong defense. So he goes queen f4. I check. He goes king f1. And now rook comes to e5. I want to play rook f5. He goes king g2. I push the pawn. Actually, around here, I might have made a mistake because evaluation jumped significantly. What's happening? Rook c8, king f7. And he had to find, okay, this is the why engine shows plus, what's this? 4. and humans will not find. So you go here, you play first check, and then put your king on h3. Only move, and it's winning completely. And you ask me why? I assume that there would have been some checks. Actually, there is a good function on chess here because he wants to play rook h8. Why he couldn't play rook h8 immediately here? Because there is queen b2 check. All right. Yeah, he could have finished the game, but I think at this time we were running low on time, so it wasn't possible for him to, spend enough time to calculate all. So I go queen d8, only move. He goes rook c4, and funny thing is that I give him another chance to play rook c8. He doesn't. He plays rook c6, and this is the final mistake. Now it is equal. So very often what happens when you have a winning position, in my case, when you have a lost position, you defend well, and one moment your opponent collapse and you get equal position. It is the time to grab the initiative and go after more than a draw. So right now I was very happy. I knew that the worst is behind, so I can focus on maybe getting more than draw. So I play e2, almost there. This pawn reached to second rank, always very dangerous. He gives a check, king f7. He plays rook e1. I take g5. He takes. I play rook e5. Take, trade. And here he goes king h3, trying to get away the checks. I play queen d5. Queen d5, rook d5, rook c7. Already in this position, he had to find this g4 move in order to keep the equality. He plays rook c7. I take f6 check, king f5, rook a6. And here I remember that we were playing with seconds. I played the most logical move, rook d2. Keep eye on h2 so king cannot move, and hopefully to play g5, g4 and take it. And he plays a4. I play this, a5. a5 was a horrendous move. This was the end. He needed to play rook a8, g5, and I assume here some check, check, king here, and g4. This would have saved him. If h4, what's happening? He plays rook f5, and apparently it's a draw. But in the game it's not easy to understand when you don't have time. So he plays a5. I go e4. He goes rook a8. I go e3. He plays rook e8, e2, a6, g5, g4. I remember that somewhere I was gonna mess things up. Where was it? Was it here? No, I think in this position. No, I play rook a4, and after king f3 check, rook f4, king f4, and here he resigned because I am promoting the pawn, and if he does go h1 queen, I give him a check. He goes queen g2, and there is g4, king h4, queen g2. I win his queen, and the game is over. So I wonder, I remember that one time he set me up a trap somewhere. Where was that? There was some trap he set me up. I almost fell into that trap. I'm trying to remember now. It's like, so 10 years passed, so I don't remember. But against these guys, when you play against top guys, they are so tricky. Every time they are gonna set up some kind of a trap, and you gotta be careful. You cannot relax. It ain't over until it is, So this is not my best game, to be fair, but I think this might be one of my best defenses. I defended from against 2760 in a position was showing like almost hopeless, almost +2. From here I kept the position without increasing his advantage until what move? Like around here, until here I did not let him, and then there was some blunder, but it can happen in a game, around here I made a blunder. but for 15-20 moves I didn't let him to increase his advantage, and eventually it paid off well, and now I was showing you the game. I hope you all enjoyed, and I am gonna get the questions. Yeah, go ahead.
Why rook takes e4? Why not just f7 check, collect your queen?
Where was that?
So before this,
Way before,
yeah,
close to the end, or
the opening. Yeah, why to take this rook? Why rook takes knight? Why not just play f7 check?
because what happens is that very often players will try to play the simplistic way possible, and I think he thought that maybe it will lead into complications. He needed to calculate this whole line. Yeah, knight f3, king has to go to g2. I mean, maybe not.
If king f1, then
That king f1, maybe I will take here, h2.
King e2.
No, king e2 would be big blunder because of the bishop f3. So the only way he would win is that king g2, knight e1, and should play king to f1, and knight comes back. Yeah, first of all, you need to understand that in the game it is like you need to imagine 6 moves ahead and how to evaluate this position. It seems like knight on f3 and bishop on a8 creates a problem. So very often players will want to avoid this kind of situation. So actually what he did made a perfect sense. Just the problem is that humans are not computers. They cannot find the best moves all the time, and they will, even the players like Wesley, and I mean it could be any literally player, if he is human, he's gonna mess things up. That's for sure. And that's why nowadays there is a program called Lila with knight odds, and when you play, actually I was playing in the stream, I don't know if you all followed, but when you play Blitz, I mean I'm still pretty confident that if I play classical chess, I should be able to win. But in Blitz, when I don't have enough time, even having extra knight is very, very challenging. I mean, I think I lost a match, and even Hikaru lost a match, and I know that many grandmasters lose Blitz match against Lila when they have just extra knight. So the same concept. Remember, when you play and you have a lost position, if you play like a machine, you will not lose. Don't forget that. Thank you very much for watching. I hope all you enjoyed and learned something. Take care.